Good morning, everyone. So today we are starting with this subject called financial market and services. So first topic of this subject is what is known as introduction of Indian financial system. Overall in this subject, you will be looking for these four topics, that is financial institution, financial services, financial markets, and financial instruments. So far as books are concerned, these are the two books that we'll be using, that is Indian Financial System by Bharati Pathak and Financial Markets and Services by Vasant Desai. Starting with the today's topic, that is the introductory part of this subject. So that is what is known as introduction of IFS. What do you mean by IFS? What are the components of IFS? What are the functions? What are the key elements of well-functioning financial system? This is what is the content so far as this video is concerned. So first we'll start with what do you mean by financial system. Financial system basically is a structure wherein the financial transactions are happening. So basically there are two types of financial system, one which is known as formal sector and another one which is known as informal sector. As you know that informal means you are talking about unorganized, no rules, it's a traditional system, whereas when you talk about formal one, it's more organized one, there are rules, there are regulations. When in the country both the systems are working together, then that is what is known as financial dualism. Talking about organized financial system, and that is what is the heart of this subject. So organized financial system is basically bifurcated into 5 different segments. First segment is what is known as financial institution, the other one is known as instrument, the next one is known as financial markets, and the last and fourth one which is known as financial services. Overall these 4 segments are powered or regulated by the entity which is known as regulators. So these are the 5 things that we'll be studying in this particular subject. In general, this is what is the financial system looks like. That is financial institution, in which we'll be talking about banks, non-banking institution. Financial market, again you are talking about unorganized and organized, but as I said earlier, we'll be talking about only organized market. And in organized market you have 2 entities, one which is known as capital market and another one which is known as money market. Apart from that, you have something which is known as financial instrument, in which we'll be talking about mutual fund, crowdfunding, stocks, debentures, so on and so forth. And the last one which is known as financial services, in which you are basically talking about leasing, hire purchase, credit rating, so on and so forth. So these are the 4 major things that we'll be studying module wise in the coming videos. So right now I'm just giving the brief, that is what do you mean by institution, what do you mean by market, what do you mean by services, and what do you mean by instrument. So starting with the financial institutions. Financial institutions are basically an intermediary which will mobilize saving and facilitate the allocation of fund in different parts of society in an efficient manner. So basically in general there are 3 or 4 types of financial institution. First segment basically talks about specialized financial institution. Specialized financial institution means the institutions which are focused on very specific services, that is Exim and NABARD. The another one which is focused on investment category, that is what is UTI, LIC and GIC. And the third category which is very general, that is banks, which we all deal with, NBFCs, Ps, that is private equities, VCs, that is venture capital, and last one that is MFI, microfinance institutions. This is a basic news which talks about how financial institutions are important for financial system. So this news is basically about the times when the financial institutions were not lending because of COVID fear. And Nirmala Sitharaman, that is FM, she herself made a statement that as the COVID is over now, financial institutions should start pushing a credit growth for having a better growth development in the country. The next segment of financial system is what is known as financial instruments. So financial instruments are basically a claim against a person or institution for a payment at a future date. So whether you are talking about shares, debentures, bonds, commercial paper, it is nothing but you have bought an instrument against which the institution will be paying you something in form of either dividend or in return or whatever form, but a return will be generated at a future date. That is what is known as financial instruments. So basically there are 2 types of financial instrument, one which is known as primary and the second one which is known as secondary. Primary means when the company is issuing the stock for the first time. The company is issuing bond for the first time. That is what is known as primary. The same bond or the same stock is trading afterwards, and that is what is known as secondary instrument. Financial markets. So this is what is again the third segment or bifurcation of financial system. Financial market is basically a place from where you can buy these financial instruments. So it's basically a mechanism against which the instruments are dealt with, and a place wherein you can claim your return. So basically there are two types again, one which is known as money market and another one which is known as capital market. Money market is the one where the instruments are for short term, that is less than 1 year. Capital market is a place wherein the instruments are, or the stock, bond, or whatever instrument you are talking about, that is for more than 1 year, so longer period of time. Apart from that, there are two segments, that is primary market and secondary market. As I said earlier, primary market is the place wherein the issue is done for the first time, and once the issue is done, then the trading will happen in the secondary market. This is an example wherein we are trying to understand that when the Yes Bank collapsed, entire private banking stocks were hammered, and not only private bank stocks but even the other PSU bank stocks were hammered. So the point I'm trying to make over here is, the moment you are talking about financial markets, if there is a negative news about one company, the entire industry, entire sector will suffer, because it's a market and the rumors are spreading very fast, or even the facts are spreading very fast. So this image will give you an idea that how and why, even though there was a problem in the Yes Bank, but entire Nifty Bank index was in the red because of one bank, that is Yes Bank. The last segment of financial system is what is known as financial services. Financial services are basically the activities which are related with your financial transaction. So any transaction that you are doing, which is whether it's borrowing, funding, lending, investing, buying or selling securities, it's all related to your financial services. Without financial services, not be able to complete your financial transaction. This is one example wherein it is said that as we all know that we are using payment firms day in and day out, right? So payment firms are important part of financial services nowadays. This news basically talks about that recently NPCI has put a cap on the payment firms, in terms of, it was said that NPCI, which is National Payment Corporation of India, is worried about the tremendous growth of two entities, which is Google Pay and Phone Pay. These entities have more than 30% market share. Phone Pay is almost near 50% market share, and it was said that if these two entities have some issues, some problem, then the entire Indian financial system will collapse, because there is a heavy dependence on these two entities. And that's why it is said that now it's the time that we should keep a cap on the payment firms, that you are not allowed to make more payments beyond a specific market share. The last segment of financial system is all about functions and what you need if you want a good financial system. So you need to so far as functions are concerned, it's all about the financial system will help in monitoring or measuring corporate performance. It will help in deepening the financial system in terms of broadening the activities. It will help in allocation and mobilization and saving. It will help in disseminate the information. So far as stock market is concerned, it will help you in reducing the cost of transaction, so on and so forth. And the last segment is all about key elements of well-functioning financial system. So if you want your system to be good or efficient, what are the factors which are required? So your rules, your legal environment, liquidity should be enough. The regulator should be strong enough to make a rule and implement the same. Information technology should be updated. Public should be aware about their rights and responsibilities. Sound banking system, which is a pillar of financial system, so that should be there. And the last but not the least, that is your security market, your stock market should be well functioning. The people should be investing in that. So that is what is known as the Indian financial system, or introduction of Indian financial system. Thank you very much.